Welcome to the Bobby Drew Show with your host, Bobby Drew, David, and Brian.
Welcome to the Bobby Drew Show. And yes, that is a sign of how my fantasy football week went. Listen, it's the fantasy football week 1 is in the books. All right. And some may be feeling really good and some may be feeling really bad. Maybe you're listening to this because you're looking for advice, maybe some counseling. You need some, I don't know, some direction. Well, don't worry. We're here for you. Unfortunately, it's only 2/3 of the crew that's here today. David, he is not with us. So I guess we put some sad music for.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave, you're not able to join us. Get better, friend. But it's okay. We have myself, Bobby Drew, and I got Brian over on that side. And first of all, we love Jesus. Praise the Lord. Thank God.
Yep.
And thank you for this day. It is Tuesday morning that we're recording this, so we may get some news updates as we're recording, but it's week 1, Brian. Week 1's in the books. How are we feeling? Where are you at right now? Are you full panic mode already?
No, I'm half panic mode. Some leagues went good, some leagues went not so good, and some leagues ripped my hair. Oh wait, didn't rip my hair out. I ain't got no hair, but they hurt me a little bit. But hey, it's week 1. I never panic at week 1. I tell people that all the time. I wait till about week 4 before I panic. So I'm all right.
Well, I let my emotions get the best of me most of the time when it comes to.
I didn't know.
I had already threatened to trade my whole team. I said some things to some people I probably shouldn't have said. Sorry, Dave. It's I just let it get the best of me, and it's not right. You can't control fantasy football, guys. And that's why fantasy football trash talk is so dumb when you think about it.
It really is.
It's so dumb, but it is fun. But you may be panicking. You may be like, "Oh, I'm relaxed. I scored 142 points this week. I'm going to the Super Bowl." It's week 1.
Right.
It's week 1. Don't panic, guys. Listen to the voice of reason here. The guy that panicked all weekend. I'm telling myself, don't panic today. Some takeaways. We were probably all disappointed in our quarterbacks unless you had Baker Mayfield, even Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen, even Derek Carr, right? Lamar Jackson did good. Jaden Daniels. I mean, these guys were at the top of the top. But overall, we were probably all pretty disappointed in our quarterback play. It was the worst opening week for quarterback play in like the last 20 years. I think there was an average of 184 passing yards. That was before the Monday night game. There was like an average of 184 pass yards across the NFL with quarterbacks. And you know who hurts from that? Wide receivers. Obviously we do, but wide receivers really hurt from that. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, I think on that, I don't think all wide receivers. I think normally one wide receiver on each team will hurt because you're always going to have come on, look at the Lions. Amon-Ra, they didn't even know who he was, and Jameson Williams goes for crazy. Jaden Reed for the Packers. You AJ Brown out. You usually just have that one when the quarterback doesn't do good. So,
yeah, it was interesting. I was definitely not happy. For those of you that have Joe Burrow, I'm not going to tell you not to panic because there is some reason to be worried. But
there's no reason to be worried. Joe Burrow had no T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd is traded, and Jamar Chase played his first game basically forever. So they'll be fine. They just played against Super Bowl favorite New England Patriots. That's all.
Super Bowl favorite. I like that. Well, all right. Let's get into some news and injuries. We got news and injuries today. We got a new segment. We're going to talk about some almost believable headlines that you may or may not have seen. And then we're going to talk about some good players, some disappointing players, and some waiver wire pickups because today's waiver day, guys. Put your
Mhm.
waivers in today because tomorrow there's going to be a lot of good players that are going to be dropped. So
Yep.
we'll see what happens.
It's true.
But the injuries are here, so let's talk about it.
News and injuries.
So some news and injuries here. Jordan Love. Oh, this was so sad.
Love hurts, man.
Love hurts. Oh, that's good. That's good. Jordan Love has a MCL sprain, and it is estimated he will be out 3 to 4 weeks. But Matt LaFleur says Malik Willis will be the starter if Jordan Love cannot play. So I doubt he's going to play. I think that's just the coach being the coach. But they did not put him on IR, so that says the Packers believe he's going to be ready to go within 4 weeks. But keep an eye on that. And you know who's affected by that? The whole team. If you got Jaden Reed, you should be a little worried, a lot worried. Christian Watson, I'm definitely worried. Romeo Dobbs, Dontayvion Wicks, those guys are on my bench. That's sad.
Or imagine having Josh Jacobs. He may be fed a lot. So who's ever got Josh Jacobs, in your leagues now, think about that. How many dump offs is he going to get from Willis? 2 plus the run game.
Yep. Interesting play. I wasn't going to say that because I was going to try to make a trade, but it's okay. Josh Allen, did you know? You probably didn't know this, but Josh Allen's on the injury report. And he's
with a left wrist injury.
Yeah.
That said, Brian, the sports guy. You're going to tell me that I might not know something about sports?
Oh, no, not you.
Oh, you meant our hundreds of thousands of listeners.
Yeah, they may not know about all that.
Oh, okay.
But Allen has a left hand contusion, and he's considered day to day. I would expect he'll probably play.
Mm-hmm.
Left hand, he's a righty, so I would imagine he's going to play. But
if he'd stop being a ball hog and hand the ball off to James Cook and let him run it in, you might not hurt your hand so much.
Yeah.
So
another big one, Kenneth Walker has an undisclosed abdominal injury. He's considered day to day. He was having a really, really good day, and he left the game with that abdominal injury. And he told reporters after the game, he said, "I'm good." So he's probably going to play.
Yeah,
that's coming from the player. We'll see what the doctors have to say about it. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Oh, another sad one is Puka Nacua.
He's hurt. Somebody said.
Oh man,
Puka Nacua.
Yeah. He has a right knee PCL sprain. He's on the injured reserve. That guy is going to be out for at least 4 weeks.
Yep.
So sorry to all the Puka managers out there. Wide receiver Keenan Allen. Man, undisclosed injury, they say.
He forgot his hands.
Yeah, he did drop a touchdown. This is a situation to monitor. Keenan Allen, he left week 1 early with a undisclosed leg injury. Now, if you remember, he also did have a heel injury during training camp. We don't know if that's connected to this, but we'll see what happens. DJ Moore, listen to this quote. DJ Moore was quoted on a radio show on Monday morning and he asked him about Keenan Allen, and he said, "Allen is fine. He's just an old man. He's good."
That's awesome.
That's funny. Also, the Bears' offense is still in more trouble. Rome Odunze has a MCL sprain, and he is most likely going to be out for 2 weeks, possibly. They said it is a very minor one, so the Jordan Love one, there was a grade on it. I think it's like a grade 2 or something like that. But this is a very minor one. It's not the same kind. So we'll see what happens. But if you have Rome Odunze, monitor that. Obviously, Caleb Williams is affected by this. And what a performance by Caleb Williams. We'll get into that in a second. But I had to say it. Anyways, Jordan Addison. Man, there's a lot of injuries we're going through right now. Jordan Addison has a right high ankle sprain.
Are you serious? Man, all the Aaron Jones owners got to love that.
It's the other ankle. So during training camp, he had an ankle sprain. It was his left ankle. This is his right ankle. He's got 2 bad ankles right now.
As a running back, that's not a good thing to have.
He's a wide receiver, Jordan Addison.
He's a wide receiver?
Yeah, Jordan Addison, wide receiver.
Who does he play for?
The Minnesota Vikings, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I never heard of him.
yeah, yeah. He's all right.
I thought we were talking
But
about important people, but whatever.
no, Jordan Addison. So Justin Jefferson. I mean, he didn't. Jordan Addison doesn't steal anything from Justin Jefferson, but Sam Darnold has one less target to throw to. Darius Slayton is in concussion protocol. He's week to week. I don't think anybody has any of that guy unless you're in like a 25-person league. Jake Ferguson, bro, he has a bone bruise and a sprained MCL. He is considered week to week, probably out for about 2 weeks or so. That's all speculation. So if you have him, monitor that and see what happens. So David Njoku, this is our last one, and then we'll move on from this. Oh, actually, there's a couple more. Sorry. David Njoku has a right high ankle sprain, so he's going to most likely be out for about 2 weeks or so. Deshaun Watson is going to suffer even more. It's like, that guy's trash. Anyways, so Njoku is considered week to week. Keep an eye on that if you got that guy. Some other notable ones is T. Higgins. He did not play this week. He will likely miss week 2 or play less than 100% with a hamstring strain. Russell Wilson, the guy was in full pads. He literally, by league rules, was not allowed to play. And the dude standing on the sidelines in full pads.
Uh-huh.
The most Russell Wilson thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He has a calf strain. He had a calf strain during training camp. He re-aggravated it, I guess. So it could be Justin Fields for week 2. That's a situation to monitor. Josh Downs has a high ankle sprain that he also suffered from training camp. He could miss week 2. He did not play week 1. Marquise Brown, he has a SC joint sprain, and he sat out week 1, and he will likely play either week 2 or week 3. So he could be coming up soon. And then CMC, oh man, so many people last night. We had somebody in our league, our buddy old pal Dave.
He's got him. He had nobody.
He poor guy. He's in a situation.
I warned everybody. I said, don't do it this year. If you have the number 1 overall pick, he's not going to make it through the year.
Yeah.
And now they're even talking about, and now seeing what Mason did, he's going to get a lot less usage. I'm just being honest. I mean, but whatever.
Yeah. It was interesting. I felt bad for Dave. I picked up over the weekend.
Did you hear the whole controversy now after the game during the interview? Did you hear Mason said he knew he was going to play on Friday, but then they didn't let the NFL know until 90 minutes before the game. But then in a post-cut, he's like, that's why I don't like to talk to reporters, because if I say something wrong, then it's held against me. And now they're trying to do spin control because technically, I mean, that's a fine violation. Forget us fantasy managers. You can't do that.
No, it's all about fantasy. That's
what. That's right. We're fantasy football show. That's right. And it is true because if he knew that Friday, you want to know how no one would have even started him because it's a Monday night game. It's not like it's Sunday at 4. You know what I'm saying? That's a killer. Yep.
Yeah. Poor Dave.
Yeah. I almost feel bad.
What a funny situation, though. Dave. It's only fantasy football. We can only. I know he's going to listen to this, so we can only laugh about it now, Dave. I'm sorry. I did pick up Jordan Mason for that reason, though.
Of course you did.
But seeing all these injuries, all these headlines going through, Brian, I was looking through, and I found some almost believable headlines. So let's talk about some of these almost believable headlines.
Awesome.
So it's reported that DK Metcalf is washed and should retire immediately.
Wow, that's brutal. Well, I mean, I know that Jaden Reed right now should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That guy is special.
I did see that. I also saw that Saquon Barkley is now officially the greatest running back of all time.
No, but Kirk Cousins is playing on a torn Achilles, or at least that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that guy does not look. He did not look right.
Mm-mm.
I also seen a report that Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Kelce, and Mark Andrews will all be cut today.
Hey, listen, I believe it. Trash monkeys. And Joe Burrow is a total bum, and he should be dropped right out of this league. Go over to the USFL. Guy's terrible.
Speaking of CMC and Jordan Mason, CMC has been replaced by Jordan Mason. It will never see the football field again.
Never see the field again. That's incredible. Hey, did you know that the Carolina Panthers, well, if you've ever even seen them, I don't even know where they are, but no one's been able to find them. Even in week one, we don't know where they are. I know the Saints played some high school teams, so who knows?
I think that search efforts are on the way for the Carolina Panthers.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I don't know where they went. Anthony Richardson, he is so bad that he's actually good.
Actually, that's a really funny take because he is so bad. But that throw that he had to Pierce was just absolutely. It's like he didn't even look. He just threw it. It was on a dime, 60 something yards in the air. I mean, I can't stand the guy, but that was incredible. And all I know is Marvin Harrison Jr. needs to have a taller quarterback because his quarterback can't even see over a third grader.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's interesting. Caleb Williams was spotted crying in a corner after the most disastrous rookie debut ever recorded. Some very interesting things happening right there, Dave. I mean, it's those are some crazy headlines. Almost believable. Almost believable. I don't know if any of those are true or not, but
some might be, but
based off of some of the things we saw, they could be. Well, do you want the good news or the bad news first? Everybody usually always says, I want the bad news first. But we don't care. We're going to give you the good news first. We're going to talk about some good players this week. And this does not mean that they're always going to be good, but they had a good week one. Who would have known that Baker Mayfield was going to throw 4 touchdown passes?
Crazy. And only have like 6 incomplete. I mean, that guy was on lock. He looked great.
He did look really good. We had Josh Allen, of course. Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. He had 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns, and he threw for 232 yards. Was it Baker Mayfield led the league with 289 passing? Or no, I'm sorry, Tua had 338. That was the league high this week.
Well, he had 80 yards on a dump off to Tyreek Hill. I mean, that was the third. That was like a quarter of his yards on one play.
But yeah, real quick. I know we don't want to. We're going to talk about it just because to put some context to this whole Anthony Richardson thing. Jeez. Anthony Richardson he was 9 for 19, 212 yards on 9 completions. That is insane.
Correct.
Okay, and two out of those 9 passes were touchdown passes. Okay, he did have a rushing touchdown as well, so six rushes for 56 yards and a touchdown. You're not gonna go 9 for 19 every week.
It's not sustainable.
And get 2 touchdowns. Okay, nope. It's just not gonna happen.
Right.
But I mean, all in all, fantasy wise, he had a good week one. So all those managers that picked up Anthony Richardson for in their draft they feel like they're geniuses right now.
And they're not. Sorry.
They're not.
He basically had a Hail Mary touchdown and then like 9 completions. The guy's not good. It's not sustainable. It's just not. I'm sorry.
I would say 2 pleasant surprises on this list of some top 10 quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels, his rookie debut, he rushed 16 times, 88 yards for 2 touchdowns. Went 17 for 24 for 184 yards. So obviously those 2 touchdowns came from the rushing, but he is a running quarterback. He's very, very agile, very athletic, and he's going to have to run a lot probably the rest of the season because that offensive line is non-existent. The whole Washington Commanders team is non-existent, but he had a good rookie debut. And then also Derek Carr, man, 3 touchdown passes from Derek Carr. He went 19 for 23. he didn't miss much,
Mm-mm.
which is interesting because Chris Olave really didn't get much from all of that. So those are some quarterbacks that had some pleasantly surprised performances. Is there any other quarterbacks, Brian, that you're like, man, they did? I mean, Lamar Jackson's there, obviously, but
No, nothing jumped off the table. I think quarterbacks were subpar. I think overall, well, I mean, I don't know. First round picks are great, I guess, if you take a quarterback, but it's hit or miss.
yeah, but the running backs, wow, what a week for running backs. Saquon Barkley, who is this guy? 109 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He had 2 catches for 23 yards and a receiving touchdown. He ran all over the Green Bay Packers. I don't know if we're going to get that every week, but he seems like he's doing really good in that offense. He's a good fit for it. He's better. He's an upgrade above DeAndre Swift in that offense, I would
It's
say.
week 1. Give Saquon to week 3. He'll be hurt.
Hey, you want to talk about the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Number 2, go for it.
Mr. Joe Mixon was RB2. Now, I remember preseason, somebody had said Joe Mixon's going to be RB3 or better, and I was laughed at by famous people, non-famous people, different people, and I tried to explain Joe Mixon is going to be great. I mean, there's a lot of receivers that are going to get a lot of attention, and Joe Mixon's going to run around people, and he looked really good as the RB2 this week, so whatever.
Yeah, the running backs. There was a lot of good performances from the running backs. Joe Mixon's one of them. Devon Achane, very interesting.
Yeah,
He only had 10 rushes for only 24 yards.
it's the catches. Yeah.
But he had 7 catches for 76 yards. And listen, if you drafted Devon Achane, you know this. Like, yes, he's a running back, but he is used in the passing game so much. It was the same thing last year. This is what you're looking for. I mean, I would imagine we'll see an increase in yardage as the season goes on as far as rushing. That was just a weird game. The Jacksonville Jaguars and Miami Dolphins. It was kind of a stalemate for a while. Nobody could do anything. So those 7 catches really, he had 1 rushing touchdown near the goal line, which is a benefit. Devon Achane was the only running back that got any touches in the goal line. So, or at least for the Miami Dolphins is what I'm talking about. But so if you have him, which yes, that was a nice little week 1. But maybe a surprise here, J.K. Dobbins. Wow. 10 rushes for 135 yards, 1 touchdown, and then he had 3 catches for 4 yards. I did not see that coming, but that's a good week 1. Very good week 1. You imagine he was not picked up in a lot of leagues, so he's going to be a waiver wire. You're going to see him going off like crazy. The thing is, him and Gus Edwards, really, they split carries, but J.K. Dobbins was the hot hand and made it happen. Alvin Kamara, awesome week 1. James Conner had a good week 1 as well. How about Ramondre Stevenson for the New England Patriots?
It was impressive. He's nice.
He has solidified himself as the RB1. There's no question about it. He had 25 rushes for 120 yards and 1 touchdown. All right. And he had 3 catches for 6 yards. Outside of that, I mean, everything was pretty standard. I mean, it depends on what you kind of look at for a good running back. You could say Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard. How about? Did you see Tony Pollard with the Titans team?
Mm-hmm.
It was you saw that Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears are not on a 50-50.
Not anymore.
Split. Tony Pollard is the RB1 there.
Yep.
If you can swindle Tony Pollard from somebody,
do it. Yep.
Just do it.
Yep.
Take somebody if you have J.K.
Sell him high, no doubt, man.
Trade him for Tony
high while he's up there. Absolutely, make that trade for sure.
Jerome Ford had a good week as well. 44 rush yards, 1 touchdown, and he had 6 catches for 6 catches. 6 catches for 25 yards. I was looking at I seen 6, 7. That's the targets. I was like 6
Yeah.
catches for 7 yards. Oh my gosh.
Whatever. That's 6 points in a PPR. Bring it on.
Now we'll talk about some wide receivers. Is there a wide receiver that you were surprised that had a good week?
Well, I'm not going to state the obvious with Reed, but
Well, we
I mean,
did call that last week.
yeah.
We did.
I don't think anybody called it 35 points the last week.
I
No, you
said.
didn't. Not that much. No, come on, stop. Please
I
stop.
didn't say 35 points, but I said play that guy.
Yeah, you did say play that guy, but I don't know. It just nothing jumped out. And I'm not saying anything yet, but there is something that jumps out this week that people need to pay attention to that they want to get rid of. There's one position that matters, and people don't realize it. They scored the most points that they've scored. I think I saw a stat in like
Oh,
25, 30 years. The kickers.
the kickers are crazy.
They just went ballistic. And that's what I'm saying. The quarterbacks didn't have great stats because they couldn't get in the end zone. Kick. And you want to know what's crazy too? Brandon Aubrey nailed a 66-yarder, and they nullified it because they called a delay of game because they didn't reset the clock. Aubrey owners literally would have had another 5 points. Dude, and then he rolled out to try a 71-yarder, and he kind of was like, yeah, no, I'm not kicking this. I can't do this, But I couldn't believe it. Kickers. I mean, there must have been. I think there was 5 or 6 of them that had close to 20 points, 16 to 20 points. So kickers are relevant. I'm gonna say it right now. Kickers are more relevant than tight ends.
It is true. It is true. Jake Moody last night in the Monday night game. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That game was so interesting. It wasn't a battle of touchdowns. It was a battle of getting across the field to kick field goals.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
If you took all the field goals away from the 49ers, they would have had 14 points.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I know.
But yes, going back, Jaden Reed, he had one rushing attempt for 22 yards and it resulted in a touchdown. He had 4 catches for 138 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp, oh my.
Yep.
Oh my. 21 targets.
Yeah, 14 catches. Well, I mean, and this is where people overreact too. Puka was out in the second half. Everything was thrown his way. So if you have a Rams third string receiver or something, maybe he's a play in a flex or something. Robinson, I think his name is, and there's another one, but Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp. Him and Stafford 2 years ago, they were like number one. I mean, they were incredible, the points they were putting up.
He looks fully healthy, and Sean McVay is using that. He puts him in motion, and when you put him in motion, you have no idea what he's going to do. You can't stop it. So if you have Cooper Kupp, good on you. Keep that guy. Do not trade him because Puka's out for 4 weeks. Okay, so take advantage. 21 targets is crazy. Tyreek Hill does Tyreek Hill things. After being detained before the game, he gets 7 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown. And then Alan Lazard ends up as wide receiver 4 on the week. 6 catches for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, one of those touchdowns did come in garbage time, so that does give him some more points. But before that, if you play in a full PPR league, he would have had 20 points. And you can go back. It was probably 2 or 3 episodes ago. I did mention, I said, watch, Alan Lazard with Aaron Rodgers back. There's going to be something there. It's one game. It's week 1. I don't know if it's going to sustain, but.
You know how many people Aaron Rodgers threw the ball to last night? How many total people?
2.
4.
Oh, was it?
4 people got targets. 4 people got targets. So.
Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson.
Wilson and Lazard. Those are the only ones.
Yeah, Mike Williams was irrelevant.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah. Jameson Williams for the Detroit Lions. Wow. 5 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Outside of that, I mean, you had your typical A.J. Browns. Stephon Diggs, man, 6 catches for 33 yards and 2 touchdowns.
You can't count on 2 touchdowns every week from Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
33 yards. Let that settle in before you go crazy. So if you have him and somebody else has something, sell him while he's high. Get something for him. Because that's not 2 touchdowns a week isn't sustainable. But if you find somebody in your league that's not as smart as you, this could be the time to swindle somebody that's really good or consistent throughout the whole year. That could help you get to a Super Bowl. Sure, they may not put up crazy numbers, but if they're putting up 16 to 18 every single week, that's going to matter in the long run.
Yeah. Xavier Worthy, rookie debut. He had 1 rushing attempt for 21 yards, resulted in a touchdown, 2 catches for 47 yards, and a touchdown. Not a lot of opportunities there, but he made the best of what he had. So those are some wide receivers. As far as tight ends, there wasn't really much going on in the tight end room. Isaiah Likely, 9 catches for 111 yards and 1 touchdown. Almost 2 touchdowns. Missed it by that much.
Yep. You want to know honestly, and this is why tight ends are just throwaways. All tight ends are garbage. Likely is literally a backup tight end, and he's the only one that scored anything all week. Tight ends are such a waste of time. Give me a kicker more than a tight end.
There's such a drop off after that. There's not really much. Foster Monroe was
who?
Yeah,
the Saints. Yeah, the Saints. Yeah,
he's tight end 2. Brock Bowers tight end 3 with 6 catches, 58 yards. Kyle Pitts got saved by a touchdown, 3 catches for 26 yards and 1 touchdown. And then really after that, there's not much going.
Nope.
Sam Laporta, even he only had 4 catches for 45 yards. But we're talking about good players. That was good players.
Right. Yeah.
We'll mention a kicker just for some fun. Jake Moody. This guy was not that good last season. I think he was not good at all, but he must have been practicing all offseason because 26 points. Chris Boswell, 26 points. Brandon Grupe, 22 points. Brandon Aubrey, 21 points. Wow. That's crazy. But real quick, we won't spend so much time on it because, listen, you're either really happy or you're really sad. So we don't want to walk in depressing talks too much. But some players that we're disappointed in. I want to go first. Joe Burrow. What is going on?
Yep.
I said earlier that there were some concerns there. My only concerns there are that the locker room, the team, they need to get it together. There's a lot going on there. I know T gets injured, but this whole Jamar Chase thing, what's going on with the front office, it's not good. It's just it's got a bad taste in their mouth, and I don't like it. So I don't know. I'm concerned about Joe Burrow. I know it's only week 1, but if that situation doesn't get resolved, I'm concerned about the play of the team going forward. That's just me. Kirk Cousins. Did you have Kirk Cousins? Did anybody have Kirk Cousins? If they did,
Dave has him.
We need to call Dave and check on that, man.
And he's got Drake London.
Oh, man. Yeah. If you drafted Kirk Cousins, you are disappointed.
You're not. Don't be disappointed in Kirk Cousins. Be disappointed in the play calling. If he's sore and he's got an Achilles, don't have him have him in shotgun. Let's do play action. Don't put the guy, he's a statue anyway, and you made him more of a statue. So that was game planning. So whatever.
Yeah. Nope. Also, even Brock Purdy. That's why that score is so deceiving.
Yeah.
That score is 32 to 19. The San Francisco 49ers win, but the 49ers only scored 2 touchdowns.
Right.
They ate the clock like crazy. It was ridiculous.
Yep.
But Brock Purdy, only 231 yards, no touchdowns, and he rushed for 11 yards. Not much going on there.
Nope.
If you drafted Aaron Rodgers thinking that, week 1 against the 49ers, you probably didn't have high expectations, but you would be disappointed. Justin Fields got the start this week. Disappointing start for him. Justin Herbert. What we're getting at right here is there's a lot of disappointing performances more than there is wow, I'm happy. Trevor Lawrence did not do good at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson, that guy is Okay,
He's washed. He's done.
that guy needs to
Jameis
retire.
Winston needs to start for them. Period.
Yeah.
He may throw interceptions, but at least he'll throw touchdowns.
Yeah. So there's just some players that we're really, really disappointed in. As far as running backs go, we have some very disappointing, uh, very disappointing running back.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, Gus Edwards, even though he had 11 rushing attempts, he only got 26 yards, and he had one reception for 2 yards.
Yep.
Raheem Mostert, Achan ate it up, and that Jags defense might be better than what we thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he rushed he rushed 6 times for 9 yards. So between Raheem Mostert and Devon Achan, they had 35 rushing yards.
It's crazy.
That is insane.
That's weird, man. No doubt. Wow.
Zamir White. If you drafted Zamir White, oh man, I'm so sorry.
Yep.
It's not that he didn't get the workload. He did. He just couldn't do anything with it. 44 rush yards, no touchdowns, 2 catches. And that's it. Nothing going. DeAndre Swift,
where is he? Yeah, he had nothing. He got
wow. Yeah. Where was that offense?
Well, their quarterback is not good.
Caleb Williams. Oh, we forgot. We already went through this one. Caleb Williams, 93 passing yards.
Uh-huh.
The Chicago Bears won 24-17, and the offense didn't even score a touchdown.
Nope. It was all on the defense. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not good. That is not good. We already mentioned some of them earlier, like DK Metcalf. Very disappointing. But listen, don't panic on DK Metcalf. He had Patrick Surtain blanketing him, okay? You're not going to get a Patrick Surtain every single week.
Right.
I'm not worried about DK. I'm fine there. But it was still disappointing. You would be disappointed in Jamar Chase after he decided, hey, I guess I'll play this week. 6 catches, 62 yards. But that was just a very weird game for the Bengals. Outside of that, everything was pretty decent on the wide receiver part. There was a lot of depth where you got okay points. Devontae Adams would have been a disappointment. Brock Bowers kind of stole the show there when it came to receiving. Devontae Adams put up 11 points in our league, so 5 catches for 59 yards. I think Brock Bowers put up about the same, but you would want Devontae Adams to get a lot more than that. So, I don't know. There's a lot of disappointing players we could go through and talk about all of our woes, but you need help this week. You need some help this week. So, Brian, what are some players that maybe had a concerning performance that you are willing to drop?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention.
Just kidding. But
bad game.
I'm a little concerned if you have Mark Andrews as a tight end. No, I'm not. I don't care about tight ends. I mean, honestly, I'm not dropping anybody week 1. I mean, you can't. Like, you just don't know. I mean, but listen, if you want to sell high, if you have somebody like a Jaden Reed, because number 1, how long is Love going to be out for? This is the time to sell him for another wide receiver 1, an RB1. Look at your team if you can find somebody to do it, because he may be consistent all year, but I don't think so. Like, there's nobody I'm going to panic about right now in week 1. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't really want to give advice that I wouldn't use myself. I would just sit on your team for a couple weeks and see how it plays out.
Yeah. As far as dropping, like if you're going to pick up some players, you have to drop somebody because you have a full roster.
Yeah.
So if you are wanting to pick up somebody, like maybe your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 are set, and you need some depth. I mean, Alec Pierce had a good week 1, but a lot of people are going to be running to Alec Pierce. A lot of people are going to run to Alan Lazard, and so there's going to be players that are going to be dropped. Because if you're going to pick up somebody, you got to drop somebody.
Exactly. Yep.
J.K. Dobbins is going to be going after. People are going to be looking after him. Alexander Madison, he's going to be sought after because there's going to be some people that have either injuries or they're not happy with what their running backs did, stuff like that. if I was going to pick up anybody, uh, and this, I don't know, I don't know who, I can't, week one drops are hard, but you see some players, maybe like, I'll, like in my case, I have Joe Burrow. I could hold on to him probably, but I'm also peaked in Jaden Daniels. So if you have a QB position, maybe you have Jordan Love, and you're not sure he's going to start this week. Obviously, you don't want to drop him, but Jaden Daniels is most likely available in most leagues. Maybe not all of them, but he's probably available in most. Um, so if you can look to see if he's available, like on Sleeper, right? That's the app that we use for our league. He is rostered in 0% of leagues. There's no way that's true. There's no way. But that's crazy. It says 0%, 0% rostered. Nobody believed in Jaden Daniels.
Wow.
So he's available probably in your leagues. Tight ends. Tight ends are tight ends. If you want Isaiah Likely that bad, listen, he's not. It's not going to sustain. But if you really don't have a tight end at all, then sure, go for it. If I was going to pick up somebody, maybe it would be Parkinson from the Rams. With Puka Nacua out, he had an okay role. He had 5 targets, 4 catches for 47 yards. That's something that you can do. But if you're trying to play the matchups, anybody, any skill player that you have that is going to play against the Washington Commanders, I don't care what their names are. You start those guys because the Commanders' defense is so bad.
It's true.
So bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yep.
So I would say, there's definitely some players that you want to pick up, some players you want to target. It's all dependent on what you have.
Exactly.
The injuries, there wasn't a lot of injuries that they're going to, where you should have backups. But Zach Moss, he's probably rostered in most leagues, but he did okay. He had, and he's rostered on Sleeper, he's rostered in 56% of leagues. So he might be available.
Right.
And they need a running game. They're going to have a running game. He's a RB1. Go after Zach Moss if he's available. I doubt maybe Zach Charbonnet with the Kenneth Walker news. He's rostered in 69% of leagues on Sleeper already because people know that Kenneth Walker is injury prone.
Right.
So, Zach Charbonnet, if he's available, go after him. Tank Bigsby. Listen, if Tank Bigsby's available, target Tank Bigsby. He had a very notable role in the Jaguars offense. And Travis Etienne with a fumble, he didn't look too hot that first game. They might go more of a 50-50 split. So we'll see what happens there. But there's definitely some names out there that you can look at. But it's going to be interesting to see who gets dropped. There's going to be some people that panic, full panic mode.
And that's what it is. Like, too, I mean, they're going to – I almost just kind of wait to see the waiver wire because you're normally off the waiver wire. You're not going to get one of your main starters. You're going to get somebody that you could drop week to week almost, where you got to look at matchups, who they're facing, and like what Bobby said too, look at the defense they're going against. If it's like a mid receiver or a mid running back, but the defense on the other side is terrible, it may be a great play because if you look at the wide receiver 1 and the tight end 1, nobody had them being that this week at all. Nobody had them being the top of and even the quarterback, Baker Mayfield. So if you look at those 3 positions, the best scoring of all of those, nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody said they were going to be the one in that for this week. So you can find some gems out there. It just depends on matchups and it depends on who they are and injuries on the team that they play for.
Yeah, you gotta think about it. But don't panic. All right.
Don't panic, but do a little work. Like do a little research.
Yeah. Do not panic. So, is there any players? I mean, are you alarmed about Marvin Harrison Jr. yet?
I am not. I'm not alarmed, but I would have never drafted him in rounds 1 to 3. Same thing with Roma Doomsday. Same thing with Malik Neighbors. I know everybody's high on him, but guys, Keon Coleman had an okay game. I mean, these rookie receivers. I mean, Neighbors didn't have a touchdown, but he's got Daniel Jones throwing to him. So Marvin Harrison, am I worried? No, because McBride didn't really have a great game. The game plan was just weird, like all around. You know what I'm saying? Like again, it's going to be week to week. Do I think he's only going to get one catch every week? Not in any. I mean, no way. I mean, Michael Wilson was their leading receiver. So, I mean, no,
Yeah.
I think Marvin Harrison would be okay. I wouldn't panic yet. But if you want to try to trade him because of his name to somebody in a league and it works, do it, because there could be a lot of busts like this. I mean, that's his floor. We don't know his ceiling. You can't get much worse than 1.4 points. So that is his floor. So now you've seen it already in week 1, which is kind of alarming in a way, but it's up to you.
I'm almost full panic mode on Joe Burrow.
Don't be, man.
That's the sound of my alarm going off that we might have a problem in Cincinnati. I don't know.
Hold on to him this week. You know who the Bengals play, right? The
Commanders?
Chiefs. They play the Chiefs.
Oh, bro.
He loves playing against it. Just hold on to him. I'm telling you. Hold on to him. I'm telling you. Hold on. He is Patrick Mahomes' kryptonite. I'm telling you. Burrow is going to have a 22 to 24 minimum point game. I'm just telling you. Jamar Chase is going to be back full. I'm telling you. Just trust me. Don't go crazy. It's your choice. I mean, you are almost in last place already this year, so it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm pretty close.
Do what you got to do.
It's so sad. Well, some of you got the win this week. And then some of you also, some of you got the loss. So sorry, but don't panic. Don't worry. Everything's gonna be okay. All right, everything's gonna be okay. Just lock in your lineup and be confident in what you're doing.
Yep.
That's the key. If you don't know what you're doing, just act like you do.
Right.
All right.
And no, you have no control over what happens.
Yeah, no control. You have no control. You can just
don't.
Imagine somebody last night lost to Alan Lazard.
Jeez. Imagine last night somebody lost to a referee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Anyway. Brian's reminiscing.
I am. That wasn't a hold. Let Mason score. That wasn't a hold.
Yeah. Well, all right. This has been our reaction episode to the previous week. Catch us on Thursday. We're going to upload a video on Thursday, and we're going to go over some starts and sits for the week. We're going to have some injury updates as well. So we're going to give you some advice on who to start and who to sit this upcoming week for week 2. So maybe that you're not panicking. I mean, you're not trying to pivot and figure things out, and you can wake up next week with a smile on your face because you won in fantasy football. But that's it. We're all done here. Hopefully Dave will be back Thursday. And thank you all for joining us. You can listen on Spotify now. So follow us on all of our social media. We're on Spotify, and we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff. Follow us at The Bobby Drew Show, and we're going to help you out this year. All right? Hey, Brian, anything else?
Nope. Go Pats.
Go Pats. Go Pack, go. God bless everybody. See you later.
God bless.
Thank you for watching another episode of The Bobby Drew Show. Be sure to follow us on all of our social medias at The Bobby Drew Show.